This conference will now be recorded.
Oh, Jeannie said she can't hear anything.
Ask if she can hear now.
Can you hear it now?
Can you hear me now?
Say something.
Hello? Can you hear me?
You have to speak into the mics.
Hello? Testing.
You
1,
have to
2,
push your
3.
button.
Oh, this is on green right
No.
On speaker.
Jeannie, can you hear us?
Now can you hear it?
Hello? Hello?
Say something.
Testing. Yes, sounds good. Hello?
Is she on this thing or is she on?
All right, put you on speaker. Hang on a minute.
I didn't know if this was supposed to be a public meeting for anyone to hear.
Of course you can.
We're always public, unless we're non-public.
No, I meant if somebody else from the public, there's no sound coming from the meeting.
Oh, I see what you.
Right.
Yeah.
So if somebody's trying to zoom in.
She's not on this phone right now. That was a missed call.
It's not on record.
I haven't recorded it yet, but they
Oh.
should be able to see and hear us. It's just not recorded. I can hit
I
the
know,
record
but
button if
I
you'd like,
can
but-
hear that. I can hear that through the phone through the event recording. You still should be able to hear whether or not she's recording or not. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Right.
You want me to record it?
Start recording.
yeah, start
See if
recording and see if
anything
that fixes the concern.
Okay, I did start.
Now try.
Okay, the time being 7:08 on June 9th, 2021, we'll bring the Tilton Budget Committee to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I can hear only through your phone. I just don't know if other people are trying to.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's Christmas.
Oh,
yeah.
See if that's getting any better for me.
Is that better?
I can hear only through your phone. I just didn't know if this was something that somebody from the public, if they should be able to call in and
There's only us and her.
what's going on. I can see everyone, but I can't hear anyone other than through the phone.
Did you want to try calling back on the call-in number?
What's the third one in there?
Try to.
Okay. She's gonna try calling back on the
Okay,
call-in
so
number.
put that on the desk and answer it when it rings.
Oh, this is cool. That's it, we have to stop the meeting.
I'm gonna put this near Billy. I'm not touching it. That's quite That's quite a device.
That's whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
So it's got a phone.
Looks like you can call out with it too.
Speaker.
You can.
Okay.
You can actually add people into the call.
Conference line.
Let's look at that.
I bet.
We'll proceed. Should we proceed or are we gonna wait?
She said she was gonna call in for the number on
Okay.
the,
Well, in the meantime, you want to go downstairs and make a candidate or how do you want?
I thought we should do the minutes and then we'll.
We have minutes?
Be
yeah.
gentle with those minutes,
I
okay?
forgot to. put
No, you
them
did a
on
good
the-
job. I printed them and
Do we
left
have
them at my
anyone
house,
doing the
but
minutes this week?
we can.
Oh,
Is that what she's thinking?
Janice, are you doing minutes for us? We, as long as it's recorded, we should be fine, but. Exactly. It's first job.
Judy went back on Monday. Just went back on.
So,
So Todd's talking to the mic, she should be able to hear you.
okay. Well, Jeannie, let us know if you can't hear us. Call somebody.
I can hear you now.
Oh, great.
Whoa.
Great.
little surprising. I make a motion to accept the minutes as we vote.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
It's abstain. Okay, one abstention. Christine. Okay, so now I think we should move to meet and greet the part-time
I'll go get,
secretary.
Just, if you want to just take a look at your back and see, you have some idea of the background.
Yeah, it has a job description. Looks like it's everything we should know.
So she lives in town, she just drives to Rome.
Yeah, she just bought plans here.
That's like.
I now own property in Tilton, my home. She lives, it's down the road.
Good evening.
Hi, this is Lisa Jones, and Lisa went through the interview process and is here as top candidate.
Great. Great.
Hi.
Well, we'll introduce ourselves. We're all local people. We start over here.
I'm Scott Ruggles. I'm the ex officio from the Select Board. I've lived in Tilton almost 21 years now. 5 kids have gone through the school system. This is my first time on the budget committee, so I can use any help.
You're supposed to be
Christine Levitsky, I'm on budget and planning.
Catherine Dawson. I'm on budget and parks and
Health officer.
fire district budget, health officer. Won't go on, but there are others.
Bill Lawrence. I run the hardware store down here. I'm on budget and parks and a couple of things.
Judy Tilton. Just do all kinds of stuff.
Deb Shepherd lived in this area, like, just brand new on budget. Nice to meet you.
So we'd like you to introduce yourself and just give us, a background of yourself, because we don't really know much about you.
Right. So my name's Lisa. I've lived here for about 8 years. I moved here, my boyfriend's lived here his whole life. So I moved here. My son started here in middle school and graduated last year. So he's in college now, and yeah.
Great.
So where I'm at.
And what, you just thought you wanted a part-time job, so you saw the ad for it.
Yeah, just to fill in that. I'm just kidding. Fill in all that free time.
Sure, right.
So,
Like the rest of us, right? Yeah.
Right.
So you're a good fit. Yeah. We've seen some of your papers, we seem totally qualified. Just the only, of course, it's a certain amount of time when we're more busier than others.
Right.
Probably won't have much this summer. I think probably just going in August, and then just a lot of paperwork.
right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you pick up in the fall.
sure. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
This is easy.
Yeah.
So we can do that.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So if you're good-
Anybody who's willing to do minutes deserves a medal.
Correct.
Those are all. no,
That's
wonderful.
encouraging.
Yeah.
You'll be great at it.
And if, if there's certain times that you have an issue, we're usually very flexible. There's always somebody else around that can step up and help you out.
Right.
We even take minutes here ourselves.
What does we team up on?
How do you do with angry people?
Well, I work with general contractors all day, so.
Oh,
I've been there.
Yeah.
40 years on that.
Yeah, no, I'm a project manager at, for a millwork company, so I'm constantly dealing with general contractors and tough deadlines and on the job site a lot, so. They're rough, so, but I'm used to it. It's, I feel like if you're honest and you treat them with respect, they do it back, so.
I just want to make sure, if you do accept the job, that you don't hesitate to ask us any questions on what we mean if you don't understand what we're asking for.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, and we always have issues with a lot of, so the outside agencies, they don't seem to want to respond. So
Right.
many times we have to calling them numerous times.
Yeah.
But that's part of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
They're busy too.
Everybody's busy.
Lisa, do you have any questions for us? Not that I can answer them, but some people are experienced people.
Yeah, is there any things that you worry about with the job, or sounds like you've all got enough experience?
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like my last interview, we covered a lot of the questions I had and have a pretty good idea of what it entails. So I'm sure I don't know all of it, but
Sure.
so I don't even know what to ask at this point.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what you don't know.
yeah.
Right. So,
Great.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Well, I think we're good.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Tough crowd, huh?
I know.
Well, it's not painful in the fall.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna work on next, is when we want to send out the letters
The letters.
and the applications.
Thank you.
Good.
Great. Thanks. You're all set. Good. Unless you want to hang around.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
That wasn't my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Nope. All right, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for your
Thank
time.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Has anybody explained the difference between one member acting individually and the board acting as a group to her? That has been explained to her. So if I called her up on the phone and demanded her to do something, she would say, well, we'll discuss that when the board meets. Or I don't have that direction from the board. I mean, she would know how to
We
respond to
didn't
that.
explain it quite in that context, but yes, we did explain that it's not a one person decision to make a decision, or whatever it might be. But, certainly we can go into more detail with her because she's going to have some training on, layout, book, and how it's put together. I mean, those steps haven't been taken yet.
Yeah, it's the one area in my years that I have seen people like her, innocent as can be, really get hung up because someone did call up and say, I want you to do this, and, blah, blah, blah. And the board didn't want that to take place, and they did it. And, then they had to face the fire. So,
Make sure that that's happening.
yeah, let's try to prevent her from getting her toes in that fire.
And she can always run and always can ask questions of the chair.
Well,
Procedural
she should be
questions.
asking questions. That's another conversation. She should be asking questions of the board.
But I mean, if she got a phone call from somebody saying, can you get me this spreadsheet? She should feel comfortable to reach out to the chair and say,
Right, so you said,
hey, I've got this call. What am I supposed to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
well, that's actually in the job
Yeah.
summary where the
Yeah.
supervision is
Unless it's the chair that's being inappropriate, asking her to do.
Yeah, right.
Well, that has happened,
Sure, yeah.
but I mean, as long as she understands that. She
And
shouldn't
hopefully
get,
nobody puts her in that.
nobody
awkward
should be able to
position.
trip her up.
Hopefully nobody puts the new person in that position.
But we had a
Right.
really good board this year.
So far.
We had a real interesting one a year or two ago.
Oh, I know, that's why I'm here, because I came before you. Nice experience.
Okay, so let's move on to the,
I'm a smooth builder.
I assume you've all read the application and the letter.
Yep.
So I we just changed the dates, we had some errors, and we left open the email to whoever decided to be the secretary. And I did rearrange the appropriation application a little bit more, kind of condensing the financials into one section.
Are these set in stone or can we add?
What's that?
Are these set in stone or can we add?
Well, I know, it's up for discussion, yeah. Is there something that you'd like to see in here?
Yes. On the part where the financials are,
Uh-huh.
and you say includes income statement and balance sheet, we don't say profit and loss or trial balance.
See on the
I'm
second
saying-
sheet? Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Because the income statement and the balance sheet do not show expenses. It's called a profit and loss or a trial balance. So you're limiting if we just say income statement, balance sheet. If you want to eliminate, you can say trial balance, which will include both the balance sheet and profit and loss. That's what a trial balance is. So the
So-
balance sheet is assets and liabilities, and the profit and loss is income and expenses.
So you're saying
An
to
income
add,
statement to me, it might be to them, is not a profit and loss showing expenses, your net and all that.
are you saying to add, just add trial after and?
Or it has to be trial balance.
Right, so it's a, include income statement and trial balance sheet,
Yeah, because the balance sheet is part of the trial balance.
so that would work?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
So just add trial after and.
so
I'm sorry, I still don't see it.
we always seem, it's down at
Under
the
format
format
for
for providing
providing
financials on the second page.
In the middle,
Yeah.
dark format for providing
Oh, thank you.
financials.
Yeah, thank you.
And then, so it says income statement and balance sheet. Let's make it and trial balance. You don't even have to say sheet, just say trial balance. That way I can see both.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
You might have already answered this, but little committees like Old Home Day, we don't have all of those things. We have a revenue and we have an expense.
But you show your profit and loss.
We do.
Yes.
So you would consider that meeting this,
Yeah.
okay.
And the balance sheet for you is really your bank account that has a balance. It's all you have on a balance sheet. Except for the trailer, you know, the cargo trailer or whatever that's owned, those kind of things, but it's more for the bigger ones.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you have the ability to kind of
Yeah.
take the smaller things with less.
If they don't, if
Have all-
someone like,
have all
say somebody on Old Home, they didn't know what the heck the trial balance was, they're gonna have to email, what's her name, and find out, what are you looking for, so.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was,
Are you on QuickBooks?
I just do Excel spreadsheets.
Now,
It's
will,
not that much.
will we be provided the prior year again? I know I have my binder, but it's always helpful, because this says along with 2021 and 2022 budget, which I do like, but it doesn't say your
Okay.
prior fiscal year, especially with all this COVID crap and stuff,
So down here it says, please attach balance sheets and statements
trial
regarding
balance.
any liquid assets, bank accounts, capital reserves, including checking savings showing balances for the past 3 years. Should that be up here too, or? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you don't, because the trial balance, profit and loss doesn't carry from year to year, only your balance sheet does. So if they're giving you 3 years, maybe again, say trial balance instead of balance sheets. And we should let the girl know that if somebody says, we show you our income and expenses, that's the same thing as profit and loss in smaller companies that works. So,
She got a little bit of an accounting.
yeah, it's been a while because Hester's not been in business for a while. That's how I know.
Yeah, okay, right. So, I mean, this
So-
isn't too much different from last year. Did we get enough information last year for you? Is that what you're?
We had to ask a lot of questions, which we're gonna be in the next ones that I'm gonna say, because
Okay.
we consistently always ask, how do we compare to surrounding towns? I don't see anywhere where this is in here, and like, if Northfield gets 90% of their
Oh, right.
business and we're paying 90%, we don't want that.
Right,
So we need somewhere to say,
That's right,
you
we
know,
had
show
asked to put the-
all what you're asking for all the towns.
Yeah, we wanted to put that in
We always
last year and we
ask that
didn't do that
every
either.
time,
Yeah, but we
yeah.
had
Well,
to
we
ask for it.
not only want to know what they're asking for, we want to know what the town paid last year.
Right,
town
so the
paid year
services they
before.
provide, the percent of services they provide to the other towns, how much they ask for from the other towns is what I wrote,
And how much they receive.
and how much they receive, because we had big discussions this last budget year about we're getting screwed, so.
How do they know which towns to answer? You just give them specific, like how much do you get from Northfield? How much do you get from Belmont? Do you ask that specific?
We can.
We have been
We
asking
just
that
said all
we-
before,
we
and a
do
lot
that
of them
with
did all, but
DNA
Belknap
and,
County, surrounding towns, Merrimack.
cap. Yeah.
I think they did
So-
all.
When it's, like, say, up here, it says, please describe how a municipal appropriation is important to the fiscal health and viability of the organization. Please show us comparisons of the other towns around or something like that. I mean, could we add that to that one?
Yeah, it's gonna be in a little bit, it has to be a little bit specific, because what we want to
Yeah.
see is gonna be all surrounding towns, how much they requested, and what percent of their
Yeah.
services are there.
So should it be all
So
towns?
maybe
that
we
use
should add
service?
a new section under, in between.
Please,
Or add it as a report, they've been generally giving
Yeah.
it to us as a
So
little
we have on
report.
the top of the second page, please describe your funding sources. And then the one Billy just read, if we put it in between, it would kind of make sense.
Please provide a report of.
Yeah, what towns you serve, the percent of services, and what you requested from those towns, because then I can see if they say
or
how many
please give us a
services, I can
comparative,
do percentages.
please
and
give us a
figure out.
comparative list of the other towns around us
Right.
that you serve.
To include, you know, what they requested. Because somebody who's getting more services paid $500. And we kind of need to know, you know, how much services they provide to that. It's usually Janice will probably have a sample from a couple of people last year that did a couple good reports. I'd like that kind. It's just like a column of the towns, percent, that they, or the amount they asked for. We didn't even ask for the prior years, but it just because it only concerns you.
Right,
And then what percent of that town they
Well,
service.
CAP had a really good chart. that
If you
they-
can use
they
that. as an
finally brought
example,
us, yeah. But,
I have more.
well, let's nail down, are you getting what we're, are you taking the notes or,
No, I wasn't,
okay, so,
but I can.
It's on recording,
okay,
and if
I
we,
don't have any of this information that's on here, so anything altered, I don't have.
so if she prepares, if whoever's gonna prepare this sample one can get it to us before the mailing, then we can kind of spoof it up.
Are you thinking that the mailing deadline should continue to be at September?
First, yeah,
Well, first reasonable day in September after Labor Day?
yeah. When did you mail them out in August first?
No,
I'd like to mail it out August
I
1st.
think they ended up going, I'll have to go back to my notes, but I think we ended up mailing them right at the beginning of September, like the first Monday after Labor Day. Oh, as far as the letters go?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I think if you look at the letter, it's due back,
September 1st.
September 1st.
So when did you send it out?
I think we gave them, I think it might have been like 3 weeks. So it wasn't on.
So I'd say August 1st, because some have a
I
fiscal year
would think,
end.
I think we
that
should send it
had a
August
problem,
1st,
yeah.
too. Both the letter and the application together, right? That's why I was
So
trying to,
she'll, if she's hired and she's preparing this, or whoever's preparing this can get us the draft, we can edit it.
But she needs the information that you're discussing right now. which
Yeah.
is where you want.
She'll know, she remembers her accounting, exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, but she can certainly send me an email or call me, I don't care. But I'm only one person, I don't want to make decisions.
So, well, start from the beginning what you want to see here. So I want to write it down so that I can,
If you can doctor the line item that you mentioned, and then maybe provide it, the changes can be made easy.
So I'm thinking the one we talked about, the other towns, let's not make it a line item, let's make it, add it to
Another
a report that we're asking, so it can go into where they have to send their, whatever, their balance sheet, where did we see that? So, oh, it's not.
that's
Kinda is
below the
financial.
financials, yeah.
Yeah, below that, say, add a bullet or something saying, also please provide a report that shows the towns you service, the amount you asked for. Should we ask if they got the amount? Because some,
Yeah.
they
They usually,
requested, they got
they
zero.
actually tell, some of them tell us, they
Yeah,
actually give us
so-
that.
Requested amount received.
Yeah, amount received.
Please give us a comparative list of the towns in our area
Yeah,
that you,
service,
that
most
you,
of them include them.
ask for
You
money
receive
Yeah.
assistance.
and.
Yeah.
and
How much did you request? How much did you get? And then,
what are the services you provide for them?
right,
Yeah.
like, if they had $1 million in services they provided that town, and they did 500 for us, it's obviously up to.
Right,
say,
right.
no. So they can put the
'Cause that would-
services in dollar figures if they want, because numbers is easier for me.
Would you want to put that under the municipal appropriation thing and then say, please include a comparative analysis of the other towns in our area of,
Yeah,
Service.
but
You want to be specific
those
on the towns
specific
that you want
items.
included. Because I think that last year that was some of the confusion. Which towns do you want to know? Do you want to know? I mean, some of them gave us 30 towns.
right,
I'm
right,
fine with
right.
that.
Basically, called it.
I'm fine with however many they put on there, but at least the surroundings, so Belknap and Merrimack County. Where
Well,
else
maybe
is
you
there?
say Belknap and Merrimack County.
At least, yeah, bare minimum.
Well, some of the organizations don't handle both counties. They
Right.
only handle one or segment.
That's
I
fine.
know, I can't remember which organization it was, but one of them, then you might recall, is now part of the Concord area. We changed altogether. We used to be part of Livonia, and now we're part of Concord. or something like that nature.
Well, you get this sample on this for the current budget. We can probably give them a little screenshot of a sample of one of the ones that we got, just change the numbers, type it out. And so it'd be how much they got, requested how much they got and how much they use of their funds for that town services. So it's all
Well, say,
dollars.
please include a comparative list of fees and services provided,
No.
you know,
That'd be very detailed, too much detail. So it's really, it looks like this, let's say Tilton,
list of requests then.
the name of the town, I requested 3,000, I got 1,000, and I spent 200,000 on Tilton.
Okay.
There's some good examples from the last one, I can,
So you want the dollar amount of services provided.
yeah, because that's how the percentage goes of what we're giving and what we're getting.
So comparative list of money requests.
What
and-
they
And
got,
services provided.
Yeah.
In the
In
towns. In the towns in your service area.
right, and how much they got. I'll do a little blurb and send it
Okay,
in a screenshot like this one, so they have a sample.
okay. All right, so we'll put that there.
Good.
What was your next point?
So I don't see where someone could put,
You wanted to put trial in somewhere? That was,
yeah, trial balance instead of balance statement,
And where-
anywhere there's balance sheet.
where does that go? Oh,
Formatting for financials,
Format.
and then right below it.
So
So the
anywhere
sec,
there's
balance sheet, just
One's in place for
trial balance.
That's in the letter too.
Instead of balance sheet, you say trial
Trial
balance?
balance, yeah.
Okay,
The letter has to be updated too.
okay.
in that.
Oh, it has balance sheet in there?
Last paragraph.
Judy's on the phone.
Yep, those right there.
Okay,
So one of the comments the last few years is usually what significant changes happened in the past year and what do they expect in the future changes? We always say, oh, is your building falling apart or, you know, in the AC? These interviews take too long. I want it in here.
Like, do you have any unexpected expenses?
Yeah, do you expect,
Anticipated.
did you have any significant changes since the last request? Only because we've denied people and they had, but we knew about the funds they got for PPP and EIDL and, you know, the list goes on. But do they expect any significant future, you know, expenditures that make it more worthwhile us giving the funds, so to speak? Is that, I didn't see it could be incorporated in any of these questions.
well, it says over here, please describe specifically what the requested funds will be used for. And we could say, do you
Do you-
foresee
Yeah,
any,
add to that one, say, do you
do you
expect
foresee any,
or see any, like, they know their air conditioning is dying, or they know their roof, like when, you know, I think it was the library, their heating system, something like that. Yeah, if we can add something here, is that do you expect to have any significant changes?
significant expenses?
And leave it at that, because in case they decide, well, I'm gonna add 5 people on payroll now that we're up full and running, or we're gonna, you know, keep it.
If it's a big organization or like like the library or,
Library is small
Yeah.
compared to some.
no, but
yeah.
I'm just saying if it's, usually they have some kind of program in place for building stuff. Like we have
Capital
CIP.
reserves, yeah.
So I mean, it's not like if the roof starts leaking, they're gonna need more money from us. It's probably in another plan somewhere already.
But the Pines doesn't have that, the library doesn't have
But
it.
maybe that's the question, is
Old
do you
home
have a
down.
CIP? Do you have funding for,
Well, we asked for capital reserves here.
well, capital, yeah, I guess, capital reserves could be that. But I'm just saying, if they come in and say, well, our roof is falling and we need to replace it, so we need all the money from you this year. How do we know that they don't already have
Oh, you'll know.
$100,000 set aside?
You'll know because our budget, let's say it's Pines, they don't have anybody else but us in Northfield.
But what if it's not us that's funding them? I guess most places have a CIP for kind of building things, don't they?
Yes.
Big places do, yeah, but,
I mean, they could come in with a sob story, but maybe it's not accurate, is my point.
Right.
I don't know.
well, it's up to you guys. It's not
Most
up
of
to
them
me.
should have gotten PPP.
I like how
But
you're
We
thinking.
ask the same question every
Yeah,
year. So
And we
I
ask
don't
that.
want to ask the same damn question.
yeah, and we asked that.
So
Because
even
a
if
lot
we
of
don't
them
say what it's for, they can say, oh my God, we lost like, especially because COVID, oh, we lost 24 employees and we're still trying to serve people. So now we have to hire, blah, blah, blah. And you know significantly how much their budget's going to be. I mean, you'll know when we get into this, how much of their budget's going to be used for that and hiring. And some people lose a director or, but we ask the same damn question.
Should we ask if they got the PPP?
I asked if they got the PPV and I asked if they got the EIDL, and there's like a couple other SBA ones because I was like, and then I'd say, believe it or not, I asked the town also.
Sure, that's reasonable.
What did you do with it? Where did it go? Because they give you some stories and they used it to do other things. And that's why you saw we got a lot of zeros, that they should have used it for what it was meant for, payroll, which would have cut their expenses down. And then we, some people filed unemployment and still got payroll and stuff like that. I don't want to get into all that.
But I think the application is good to get a conversation started. I think sometimes you learn more by having a conversation with them. Because
Right.
things slip into the conversation that might not be on this.
Right.
So I
And
think,
we do interview all of them, but some of us have been on the same thing
Right.
over and over. And if I already have it, I don't want to ask for it. Or if we get the packet, Janice, or when we get the packet, I guess maybe we can do a list of questions to individually, but it's kind of redundant if we're gonna do this.
Really, I mean, most of these organizations give us way more information than we need,
The big
and they're
ones.
not asking for too much money. I mean,
Yeah.
we know the outside agencies that ask for the most money, we really know quite well,
Yeah.
because they're here, you know?
Yeah.
But, so,
So everybody know there was a second and third round of PPP, so that question's gonna be asked.
right. Well,
And
We do
the
ask-
people who received EIDL got a second shot at EIDL if they had 25% less in income in one quarter comparing 19 to 20. So they got that in 2021.
but the funding source here, we're asking for COVID-19 funding,
Yes.
so that should be there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got that covered.
Yeah.
So what else?
But we did ask for that, Janice can contest
No,
to
I
this
know.
after the fact, and they still tried to hide it.
No, I know, that is.
Still even Googled,
Can you just tell me the initials that you were using with this people? Like,
what, PPP,
no.
payroll, okay, EIDL, emergency,
EIDL.
something, it's SBA, I'll tell you right now. Emergency. Economic injury disaster loan. Now, SBA had a bunch of loans people have to pay back.
Right.
This one's not, I only asked for the ones that they don't have to pay back. So,
Have those all been notified? Yeah.
huh?
For the second and third rounds, do they know that they have? Like, I think for the first round, that is already, they've been notified.
Well, most people for the first round have filed for their forgiveness for PPP, but it's not till September. And the bigger ones who are over, everybody over 50,000, it was a lot more complicated of an application than under 50,000. And then EIDL was automatic. So they don't have to apply for forgiveness. And there was one state one, I'll have to look that up. They actually had to provide a report of their taxes. And if there's a discrepancy of the taxes compared to what they got, some people, and actually a lot of people have to pay it back because it was a grant and it's a taxable grant.
Yeah, we heard that on the news.
Yeah.
That's something on the news.
Just so you know.
We saw him move away a little.
So are you happy with these changes?
Yeah.
Sure, okay. Now, is the new secretary gonna redo this?
Well, I guess the first step is going to be, going to have to make a decision and let Jeannie know if I'm comfortable with her. And if, once that's finalized, I'm sure they'll take their next step in the hiring process. And then once, if that takes a week or two, I don't know, but at that point, I'm sure we'll set up some time to review the book, the application, any adjustments on the application that were made that might be different from what people might ask about, and go forward from there. But again, we made it clear to all of the candidates, we have a lot of resources right here in town office for them if they have questions. Certainly, as far as process goes, whether it be, how to handle something, what is this all about, or, gee, this is a lot more than taking minutes. They're gonna find out. And,
Phone calls at lunch, remember that?
So, it'll be, we're here to help them. There's not gonna be we're not just throwing them. So don't worry, things will go out when they need to go out. And as long as it's clear when those deadlines are.
So with that being said, we don't typically have a meeting in July, right?
Typically,
No.
right.
So
But
what's the first week of
We
August?
need to have this ready for August 1st.
So
But
we
if
better have
it's
a
not
meeting.
even a final, can we all just
Then we better have a meeting.
email and all say yay and nay or not?
No.
Don't do
Okay,
that.
So we need to have a meeting the first week of
So
July.
another meeting
Yeah.
before July.
So
That's
did you
okay.
want my wife to make changes on this like she has been? If you wanted to send those bullet points,
Yeah, I don't care
to
who actually
me at
makes
the
them, and
hardware,
I can
I
email
could-
you the.
and then we
the
can
blurb
send it
about-
back for people to review.
Yeah.
And then at least we'll have, we could meet very quickly in the next meeting.
When do we usually meet? The second Wednesday? Yeah, nobody's, that's gonna be July 14th. really. Yeah, a lot of people on vacation in July.
So
I
it's gonna
mean,
be a
first
quick one.
Wednesday
Well, that, or we
in
just-
August is 4th, or we do the last Wednesday in July.
What if we do the last Wednesday in June?
Have a special meeting.
Yeah, if she can do that and get it ready for us, then we can, yeah.
I can't do June 30th. I have a meeting.
Yeah, that's what we're discussing. You're gonna have a meeting right here.
No, I have a meeting in Thornton. Sorry. There's the 16th and the 30th in my next 2 weeks.
Okay, right.
So it'd have
So
to
we
be the
got June
23rd,
23rd if it
I
has to
mean-
be a Wednesday.
But we could have you,
or it could be July 14th or July 28th.
we could just show you what the changes are, and if you felt comfortable with that,
That's fine.
you
You
could,
can have a meeting.
And if you
without-
have
Sure.
comments, you can reply and he can bring them to
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
That's
meeting.
fine, Rob.
You have to be careful when you're communicating through email, and how many people are involved. So you might just want to keep that in mind because in the constitution meeting.
Well, you just can't make decisions.
Right,
You
if
just
she
can't vote,
replies
you
and
can't
says
vote
her
on anything.
comments.
Don't make
Right.
any decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have a back and forth. Don't have, well, I like that. Well, I don't. Well, I like that.
Yeah,
That's-
so she
no.
can reply, bring that to the next meeting. And then
Just no one comment.
Just, I know we're not gonna have
Right.
minutes of this meeting for a while, so I just needed to know your points, which was, what I had was trial balance, everything that says balance
That's
sheet
easy, and I'll email you the
is,
other town little blurb,
okay,
so you have a sample.
Yeah, yeah.
And then,
and then I'll just
I mean,
send,
we'll have to probably talk with the new girl if she starts it. If she's sending these out, when she sends these out, our first meeting in August, to let her know, she has to be, they're gonna send her one piece of paper or some BS, and she needs to say, no, you didn't provide all the documents. That's
Well,
not gonna work.
You could use that meeting in June that I won't be at. You can use that as a time for her to come in and kind of,
If she's on board by then, yeah.
yeah, I mean, today's only the 9th, so
So when
Good
is that
idea.
meeting?
you could have her come in, you could talk to her about those things to look for. You could make it kind of an educational thing for her.
Well, if we're gonna meet and she's on board, she should be there anyway.
right,
Correct.
Right.
but what is, if she works full-time, she'll, okay,
You're not going to start meeting early.
right, no,
That
no,
might
yeah.
change it.
General contractors like to be done well.
Yeah,
So
Like
what
to be
day
done
is
at
the meeting?
3:30.
Exactly.
so, yeah, what did we want to, what day, want to meet, the 30th of June?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, so.
I'm saying, I don't have my book.
Meet June 30th at 7. And it would be more of a work session? Not
Oh, it's a
really.
meeting.
Otherwise,
Meeting
you
is a
can't make
meeting.
decisions.
Okay, has to be
It's a meeting.
a meeting, okay.
There's
So
no
we
such
send out
thing as
an-
a workshop
We send out an agenda. for
unless
that
no
day.
one talks.
What's that?
There's no such thing as a workshop unless no one talks.
So we have an agenda for that day. And the only thing that'll be on it is, the.
May I suggest one change in the letter?
Sure.
So at the very top, in the sentence, if your organization, blah, 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 your written request. And I'll get back to that. And then down there where it darkens and says failure to provide all requested materials by some preferred, blah, 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 may result in your allocation being denied. How about your request?
Okay.
Then I have a question. Go back to the top. As mandated by RSA 32.5, there is nothing in chapter 32 that talks about outside agencies soliciting funds from the budget. So I don't understand how that, and I don't have it.
That's been here forever, right?
That's been your
Well, I know that, but
You might want to.
you know, and now I'm looking at it and questioning it.
Look around and maybe try to figure
I mean, chapter 32 is right over there, but it's not the new
Section
version.
32:5 budget preparation, Hampshire General.
There's nothing in 32 that talks about, the only reason that we are able to give money to outside agencies is the second part of the New Hampshire State Constitution. Not chapter 32.
it. So are you making recommendations to remove that or?
You know what, it's insignificant enough, when we come back on the 30th, I'll have more information.
Okay.
I can tell her. I don't have to look it up tonight.
I mean, we either leave it in or take it out, right?
Sure.
No big deal. I have one other thing. In the job description for this position, duties are performed independently with consultation from the chairman of the committee. She works for the budget committee,
Not the chair.
not just the chairman or the vice chairman or whatever. She works for the budget committee.
Just remove chair.
So should we just eliminate the word chair?
Yeah, but the selectmen would have to do that. So I don't know what the rest of the board thinks, but we've got one selectman here that could bring it back to the rest of the selectmen and make that suggestion, because
So you're looking at supervision received as well.
Yeah, get rid of the word chair.
So just direct supervision of the
But I
budget
don't think
committee.
that's a terrible thing, because just from, I get what you're saying, and she does work for the whole board, but that gives her a person to be her contact. I think that was the
it
intention.
doesn't mean she can't contact the chair.
Right.
But what
But
if,
you
But
don't
what
want
it
her
does mean is
contacted.
that any person from the budget committee can call her and tell her to do something.
Right, we're back to that.
no, that's a
that point.
policy that we make ourselves, and that should never happen. If any one of us has a question about something, and they're gonna send an email, it should be to the budget committee. That way. And then get a response that way, or wait until the next meeting. But that's a decision that this committee makes. It makes
Yeah,
it
because the next
understand.
line says duties are performed independently with consultation from the chairperson. So there's her contact on the second line.
I think what it means is if the committee decides they want something done, they want her to do something a specific way, the chairperson would be the person that relays that to her. I think that's the intention.
Okay, but what if the chair, so let's say I'm the chair and I'm sick and I'm gone for 3 months.
Well, I don't think that means that that's the only person that she can
That's what it
can
says.
take. But you don't want her getting
But that's
direction
what it
from
says.
4 other people though either, because she may get different directions. It kind of gives her a focal point for her assistance.
She should be taking directions from the budget committee at a budget committee meeting.
But what if it's something that she needs an answer on and she's trying to meet a deadline? Who do you want her to consult with?
What if
You
the
would
chair
ask.
is unavailable?
It
Then
says
it's the
that,
vice chair
it says it right there,
or the finance director.
with consultation from the chairperson of the
Right.
committee. It's in the second
So,
line.
I mean, I understand, like, if she's at a meeting and she has a question, she would ask it to the whole board and everybody would help her. But if it's something timely, like, we got to get it out for September 1st or August 1st, and we're not having a meeting until 15 days from then,
So
give her an
But doesn't
opportunity
the
to.
email come to all of us,
this,
no matter what?
But you can't conduct business by email, so you're not going to answer her back with instructions by email.
this
She may get 4 different.
secretary does not work for the budget committee chair. Works under the direct supervision of the budget committee chair. That statement alone means, let's say I'm the budget committee chair and I say, you know what, I don't like the decision the budget committee came up with.
No, I see
And
what
I'm
you're
gonna
saying.
call her up and say, hey, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get this, this, and this together.
I see what you're saying. But it also gives her a point for help if she needs it.
Then
Well, the
that-
second
that-
line says
But
the
that is-
second line
Yeah.
says
But,
that.
yeah, but the second line says that,
Right.
so you could cross off the
You can
chair.
take the first part out.
You
Yeah,
take the
yeah.
first sentence and you cross off chair.
Yeah.
And leave the second sentence alone.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay, that's cool.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought you wanted to take the whole thing out about,
Oh, no,
Not
the
just
chair.
no,
no, I'm good with that.
no.
Scott, is that something you're going to take back? or-
Tomorrow, I'll put it in my Selectmen. I may, so everyone knows, I may give a heads up before so that if we decide, people can see it. So
Of course.
it's, I'll make sure that everyone gets it so that we can make a expedient decision tomorrow.
Did we ever look at this before it was posted?
I never saw it.
What's that?
No, and it was done after.
It would have been nice if we had looked at this before it was
I know,
posted.
I know.
Just my 2 cents.
And it was done after me, I just want to say.
Dead horse, but-
So it wasn't that I overlooked it.
Okay, well,
Okay, so we're gonna meet June 30th.
and I think our meeting that day is at 10 a.m., so I may be able to make it. We'll see.
Okay,
Nice.
They don't usually last that long.
Geez, yeah.
all right.
If they did, I might come in, under the weather.
Okay, do we have anything else? For the- Good work, we're getting real nitpicky in it.
Detail.
Oh,
When you're on here a while, you'll know, you'll be like, I gotta hear this.
So
name.
everybody has a copy of this now?
I think there was an extra one put out because they thought Scott needed one, but he got it from,
Yeah.
January.
That could go to-
that can go to the new secretary.
I think I have one, but I don't think it's 2020. But I don't need one.
Do we have to
I
do,
think everybody last
we
year.
have to do a
got
motion
one,
to
so.
Oh, okay,
accept
maybe
her?
this 2020.
No, because we weren't part of the hiring.
We don't really
Not our-
hire her, yeah, we could accept, we could make a motion to, that
Approve
we
the hire.
approve of Lisa Jones, if you'd want to do that.
I just
Second.
proceed.
Okay, yeah, Scott, in motion, Got the second?
I missed it.
Scott,
Got
that
motion
we
to approve the hiring
approve
of Lisa
of the
Jones.
hiring of Lisa Jones, and,
Catherine, second.
any other discussion?
She seems quite affable.
Good, so all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Unanimous. I would like to make a final motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
There we go. All in favor?
Aye.
What would you?
Discussion.
It's non-debatable.
Then I've learned.
Great, thanks, guys.
Yes.
So would you also relay,
Really, I see how this is gonna work. You guys suck you with this and say, oh, we don't start meeting until August. Now we